Charles, everybody wants you to talk about Fox.
Oh, dude, the Fox Dare buffs, dude. To be fair, that move like didn't work. Okay.
Also, when you get released from that minecart, I swear to God, when I get released on it on stage, it's like it was meant to up smash me after. Like I go towards it. Like what?
I love it. I absolutely love it when I see someone and they're playing Sephiroth and I can just tell right off the bat, I'm like, Ultimate was your first competitive Smash.
I think he could be a top 10 character in the future.
Yeah.
Yo, Marcus, you got something to say, man?
Dude, top 10?
Alright, I mean, we can just get straight into it. So you want to talk about Min Min first? That's what everyone likes to fucking talk about.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about Min Min and how...
I saw what you did to Wadi. How
disgusting she is. And how,
was so funny.
how carried everyone is.
Wait, huh? What?
Did you? Okay, I have a question.
Hey man, this is not my words.
Was that nair off stage into double jump like Fair Bear, right?
Yeah,
because you had to double jump.
Yeah, because he was so low that he had to start moving up or he would have died. So I just knew he was gonna start doing a B.
Did you do nair, forward air, and then jump out of the forward air, or did you jump right after the nair?
Right, did you jump before or after the forward air?
You can't jump. Oh wait, no, I jumped before the forward air.
Okay. So, but you can jump after, right?
Yeah.
So you did both. You did both forward airs after you already jumped.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you using to talk Discord? Yeah, we're gonna probably get an overlay for next time, or not next time, but if this goes well enough, it'll definitely be improved as we go.
Yeah.
For now, it's kind of basic, but
nothing wrong with that. All right, so let's start off with where we're top X number. Let's go around the round table, right? Top X number. Min Min is top. What do you guys say? I'm not going first.
Marcus has to speak first. He has to speak first.
Exactly. I feel like I should go last.
Because you're the Min Min player.
Okay, if you want to go last, you go last. Charles, you're going first.
God damn it! I wanted to camp you guys. Okay. I think Min Min. I will say top 20 is where I put her at the moment. Top 20.
Okay.
So, and for me, a top tier, in my perspective, is top 20. So she's at the bottom of my top tier, but my top tier is top 20.
Okay. The thing is, she released and she was on my mind, and then after that, like, she wasn't popular at all or anything. Like, I wasn't playing her. No one else was playing her too much. Like, I wasn't seeing a lot of her. So I kind of forgot about her rather than like rating her already. And I didn't actually look too deep into the character. So now that she's like all over the place, I don't know what to think. I think she's a solid character, but I am worried about like how far she'll go in terms of like certain type. I don't know if she'll struggle in certain types of matchups, but I do think she'll absolutely body a decent amount of characters. I just don't know what that means for a tier list if your like matchup chart is like not too in depth like that.
High tier counter pick then? Like that's where you
something
kind of
like that. Right, something like that. Okay. But the thing is, I think I'm being a little overly negative just because I don't want to be overly positive. Yo, what's up, Boyd?
Right. Boyd in the back, dude.
I didn't even know who it was at first.
Was getting it.
I just don't want to like get too ahead of myself. Like I'm really open to. I would rather the character be better than I think than worse than I think. You know what I mean?
Looking at the cast. So
come on, Min Min player, you gotta have a very educated opinion on this. You picked up Min Min for a reason.
Oh yeah.
I know you don't just play characters.
It's fun, and I thought she was good when I first picked her.
That's all that matters.
So originally, I thought that she was top 20, somewhere around the range that Charles said. I think we can push her to maybe top 15, but I don't know if she'll go much higher than that. It's somewhere in that range, like the top 15, top 20 range.
Is that because of what I said with the matchups, or just other reasons, or nothing specific?
We don't know how effective people will get down the line at like parrying. You know what I mean? So like, There is a timing conditioning when you're playing Min. Like when you're playing Azure, you can just throw one arm, and if you throw the second arm, you notice people are pairing a bunch, then you can just throw one arm, and then you're in the same situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's conditioning there, but sometimes them parry punishes be brutal. Like once they get in, once a lot of characters get in, they can do a lot of damage to you.
Yeah.
And recovery can be kind of brutal sometimes. You gotta get really creative.
It's definitely below average.
She does absolutely demolish like the majority of the cast. Like a lot of the cast can't really do anything about her range, and her confirms are absolutely stupid. Like she wins neutral, which she's very good at, and she hits you for like 40. And then you're normally off stage, which means you either have to try to recover where you might get 2-framed, or you're getting ledge trapped, and her ledge trapping is actually broken.
Just as good as the 2-framing.
Yeah.
Which is probably a part that a lot of people don't talk about.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She has like what she's good at. She's extremely good at, and I think that's a thing that it makes her really difficult. And I know, I mean, personally, Tweek really values consistency when you're going into competitive play, right? And you're thinking solo main character, tournament environment. You're gonna go up against a lot of these different matchups, and you want to have like backups, right? So even with Diddy Kong, right? Like Tweek has a very good character that covers Diddy Kong's bad matchups, being Wolf, right? All those wonky zoners, Wolf just like blasters reflects them. Like I outcamp you, everything you do, I do better, and I'm just a better character, right? So it's like you got to have like a bunch of these strategies with Min. It's like I think Tweek's biggest concern in terms of ranking the characters, like where's the consistency at, right? Like you're hyper aggressive, you're hyper good at neutral, you can push advantage states with low risk. Now a lot of characters have good advantage state. The thing that makes Min so good, it's so low risk and it's so high reward. And when you ever bring up the term low risk high reward, you're automatically like, oh shit, this is where it gets really crazy, because even Cloud and Bayo in Smash 4, they were very low risk high reward characters, right? I'm like flinging this out at this here, I'm like up being out of shield, like I can kill you here, like the range that Smash 4 Cloud played at. It's just low risk high reward is always going to be just like broken in almost any game archetype, right? But she's very weak vertically, and she's very weak when she's off stage. Like vertically wise, like when she's landing, her nair takes a little bit to get underneath her, so she pretty much just has dare, and she can't really like, she doesn't have the base stats. Like, well, one, she doesn't have the up air to threaten you vertically, and she can threaten you vertically with up smash, but she doesn't have the base run speed to like be a threat. Like when I'm chasing down someone with Fox, I got the run speed to catch your ass. You know what I mean? Like I can get there, I can hit you. But Min doesn't really have that. She can position herself to like set up the next neutral situation vertically, which she's strong at. But you know what I'm saying? It's like she doesn't have like that finisher if characters go high. So any character like Wario is a great character that could go high versus her, and he like Wario wouldn't have to deal with the 2-frame stuff. But not a lot of characters have tools like that, right? So I mean, like Pink said, just a lot of the cast, like 70-80% of the cast, they got to recover like normal characters. They're just gonna get jammed by Min off stage.
Yeah, I think Min has already been pushed farther than I initially expected. So there is hope that she doesn't end up being that type of character where this matchup works, this matchup doesn't. So there's definitely potential there, but we'll just see how far it actually goes.
Yeah. I mean,
and how bad those bad matchups will actually be as well.
Yeah. Because when you think about this game, there's not a lot of like characters that are completely solo viable, right? Like where you're not going to be going into a tournament and you're like, oh, I'm just going to play this character the entire time. I'll never run into a bad matchup. I'll never have to switch off. So, of course, she probably will have some awful matchups. Pikachu probably being one of them.
It might not be as much of the character's fault as I'm like saying. Like it's just the game, the nature of the game. Mm-hmm. There's 80 characters or whatever, so.
They universalized everything, right? Like, it's not as it's the game is a lot more balanced in terms of like base stuff, so to speak.
Yeah. Even if you have like 6 or so bad matchups, like that's whatever. Most characters, even really good characters, have like 5 bad matchups, or like matchups that they consider hard or hard evens or whatever they want to call them.
That's always weird.
She's in that category. Yeah.
And what do you like so far through your experiences, Min, Pink? What are like the harder matchups for you? Like what matchups do you like if you're going into a tournament solo, Min? Like what are you scared of running into?
I hope I don't fight a Pikachu.
Yeah.
That joint is impossible.
Yeah.
I hope I don't fight Sheik. I hope I don't fight Sheik. Which luckily, those 3 characters, there aren't that many of them. You know what I mean?
True.
At super top level, you're probably gonna run into like 3 Pikachus maybe throughout a bracket run.
I doubt
like,
I doubt even 3.
Yeah, right. I'm just being nice. And then like maybe like 2 Shulks, 1 Sheik who's in your house.
Right. Well, and the thing about those characters too, it's like even if like those aren't pocket characters, right? Like I think in terms of when you're thinking like realistically in a bracket format, it's like if your like I think the characters that you really don't want to have losing matchups against is like Wolf, Palu, like even like kind of Joker getting into that category. A lot of people picking up the pocket Joker. You know what I mean? Like it's like these are characters that a lot of people main, and a lot of people have pockets, and like the fundamentals kind of transfer pretty easily over to these characters. So it's like those are probably like the main matchups you don't want to lose. Like that, it would really suck, and you have to have a very solid answer to those matchups if your main character loses those matchups.
Like I feel like Diddy is hard, but I can't. That's probably a player diff. I can't really tell. Like nobody is playing Diddy Kong at Gavin's level. So unless I'm running into Gavin specifically, I'm not thinking, oh no, I'm scared that I'm gonna have to run into Diddy Kong. I'm like, oh dang, I might have to fight.
I mean,
you know what I mean? And that's like a player thing. It's more like worried about players than characters.
I think
right.
I think on paper, I think Diddy probably wins that matchup.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm always thinking about matchups and tier lists based on like I don't care about the players. Like, but in terms of like what you're talking about, like going through a bracket run, it's a more important factor. But in terms of actual just straight up matchups, Diddy probably does beat Min.
Yeah, for sure.
His general game plan that you're used to seeing from Diddy Kong, like from like every Smash game, kind of works against Min. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like Min's interesting because she's like, along with the other top tier zoners, like you're looking at Rob, you're looking at Pac-Man, right? Like there's a lot of these characters, they're zoning you, and then this is I kind of don't like this about Ultimate, as a looking through the competitive eye, but like when you're fighting a zoner and you get to them and they're like literally pressuring you across the stage, I should not be worried about their boxing options. I like this is something in Ultimate where I'm just like, why the hell do these characters, like I get up to them, I've been oppressed all the way across the stage, and then like I finally get up to them and they're outboxing me. Like Snake is destroying me hand to hand. Like Pac-Man is narrowing out a shield. Rob has like a 10 frame up smash and he's down to like Rob's pressuring me up close. Like what in a save match? Like you're spamming down to on my shield. Like excuse me, I got up to you. Like why am I getting oppressed? You know. And Min, I don't think Min is as exaggerated as those characters. But the frame 7 up smash is really good. 1 frame faster than Fox. It hits platforms. It's an incredible anti-air, right? So like Min kind of almost fits those characters in terms of like her boxing options. It does definitely help her out of shield. A frame, let's put it in perspective. If Cloud can up be out of shield your move, guess what? Min is up smashing you. Like that is how fast Min's up smash is. Has a reflect, kind of like a little cherry on top. Obviously, I think it probably helps in a lot of matchups because frame 7 out of shield. Like imagine like you're running up to like a Samus and a Min shielding, and then like Min reacts to the neutral B, but you can just up smash out of shield to like react to reflect that, right? Kind of awkward, kind of weird. Never no character has a tool like that, like an out of shield reflector, right? But like Min does. So I think up smash is a very important thing to kind of touch on when we're talking about Min because she's zoning you, and then when you do get close to her and you pressure her shield, she does have that strong out of shield.
How fast are most reflectors? Are they usually faster than frame 7?
4-ish?
Yeah, they're normally like 3 or 4. They're normally faster than.
So that is a little awkward where your reflect is frame 7.
Yeah,
true.
But it's fast enough to like get the job done, I think.
Yeah, and you can use it on reaction, so it's
definitely fast
it's
enough.
Tall as hell.
So
I
like, never really pieced that together, like the frame data along with the reflect.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's definitely fast enough to work with, especially the out of shield thing.
Another thing I want to like kind of touch up on with Min, and I guess we could transition into like talking about this in general, but right now Min is doing very well in the Japan offline environment. I think that's a big reason why a lot of people have started talking about her at least, right? I know a lot of Japan like a lot of the Japan community is like disliking a lot of the Min videos, kind of like when Bayonetta first came out. Even one of the main TOs played Bayonetta in Japan, and he literally did not do one of the moves. Like he didn't do Witch Time because everyone hated Witch Time, so he would play Bayo with no Witch Time. Like that's to me, that's crazy. Like you are super homie if you're like, you know what, man, the whole community, they don't like this Witch Time move. Like I'm not doing it, dude. 9B is goated. Like what guy?
I actually didn't know
This
about
guy
this.
is still a top player in Japan, and he's like one of the main TOs. He does so much for the Japan Smash community, and he didn't Witch Time his homies. Like, damn, what a guy.
I didn't hear
I know
about
the other
that.
two people in this call didn't do that, so it's like the only Bayo player that didn't do that. Like, what a god. But it's like I think the Japan environment, it's a little slower pace. I think their general gameplay is a little slower pace compared to like NA. NA is a little bit more rushed down, especially when you get to the lower levels. Obviously, like top level is still campy or whatnot, but like I think the general playstyle, Min can thrive there. And that's kind of like my bigger red flag, where it's just like I don't know if I can just shoot Min into like top 10 territory just yet, even though she's doing really well in Japan, because the Japan metagame in general, like Samus will be more effective, Link will be more effective. A lot of these like range and slower paced characters, the pacing is generally slower, and they give each other a lot more space in neutral. And Min thrives in that environment. Not saying that Min cannot thrive in an NA environment, but like the meta games are pretty like vastly different. And that's going to apply to every region. Like you go from region to region, like the top players' playstyles are going to heavily affect how everyone else plays in that region, right? And yeah, I mean, Japan play usually is just known for being a little slower pace. If they got to time you out, they'll time you out, kind of deal. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that is the pacing, right?
Yeah.
I think she gonna be nasty offline in NA, but that's just me.
I definitely can see it.
Like I don't know. A lot of characters won't even be able to go to ledge. Like the 2-frame is so free. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Can you angle the megawatt down? Like
you can, but it won't hit a lot of characters. Like some characters, there's like a kind of cheap ledge trap that if you charge megawatt, because the hitbox is a little bigger, if you charge megawatt and you angle it down, and they do neutral get up or jump, then it'll hit them. And if they ledge hang, it'll hit them. So that you literally just react to roll and you just do it over and over again. It's kind of
with your other arm, you react to roll with the other arm. It's like crazy. Like there's no other character. Like I'm trying to think of another character that can do that without like with a move, right? Like there's characters like Diddy or Duck Hunt where you set something up in an area and you're like, well, if you go there, this hits. Yeah. And then I cover this, right? But like Min's like, I'm gonna throw this move out. It covers 3 options, and then like I got this other move ready to roll in the back burner. Like, did you roll? Like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks, thank you for that, right? Like that's like insane because, usually for other setup things where it's like, okay, this is like Banjo Grenade's covering this, Banana's covering this. Usually you don't get like a super hard punish out of it. Like I think Diddy Banana is probably the best one where you can get like a literal smash attack. But like other setup tools that cover multiple options, they usually are like weaker hits, but they cover multiple options, right? But Min is a character where it's like, oh wow, like I'm hitting you with Megawatt if you do these 3 or 4 options, right? And if you do the other one, I'm hitting you with like a forward smash dragon cannon. Like it's like it's like pretty insane when you're breaking it down like that, right? Like,
yeah, the way you just worded that was way
low
too
risk,
good.
high reward, and like I mean, I think that's like the main thing that kind of is getting, I don't know, it's getting my attention for Min, and it's why I like I'm thinking highly of the character. Of course, you got to think of her lows. You got to consider like her low lows as well, her offstage and stuff, her vertical pressure. But like, man, her highs are insane, like actually insane.
So you're either getting hit by the metal ball of death or the dragon cannon.
The dragon cannon. This ain't even a gun. This is a cannon, an energy cannon.
All right, so I think that's enough about Min. I'm sure. I know Marcus is enjoying all the Min complaints everywhere, but
you're toxic. No.
So do you
Just
guys
like
want to? So do you guys want to talk about another DLC character or what?
Yeah, we can either do Japan offline. We did kind of start talking about it, or we could do DLC. Which, if I'm kind of low key, want to talk about Steve because it's so funny.
Okay, let's talk about Steve. Let's talk about Steve. Let's talk about Steven.
Steven, your boy Steven. Gavin wanted Steven into Smash for so long. You finally got him, dude. He was just
there's some timeline where I'm sitting here with like a Minecraft shirt on, like just cheesing.
Okay, before we even talk about the character, let's touch up on like, okay, even if you don't like Steven Smash, okay, how monumental the character being in Smash, and how good it is for like how great Steve's addition is for like the Smash scene, right? Like I mean, most of the like consumer base for Smash is obviously like younger people, right? So I think a lot of people wanted Steve in, and I think it's just good like viewership wise, like content wise, right? Like I think it's like super broken for that.
Minecraft is the biggest game ever created. Like
right, they'll put a lot of eyes on Smash. Yeah, a lot of eyes on.
As angry as I am about it, like you can't. Like I have to accept it. Like this character deserves it more than anyone else. So.
And you got Sephiroth after, right? So it's like
I'm chilling.
It was like I think for Gavin particularly, it was like the lowest of low, and then like the highest of high. Like
yeah, I've been all over the place emotionally, man.
Like you got trolled, and then you were just like, "Here's your dream character." Like,
yeah. Yeah. So in terms of like his gameplay, the biggest like thing competitively was like the diamond mechanic, I guess. In terms of the basic stuff, like because comeback mechanics are really, really good. And you have like in Smash 4, you had Limit, you had Ryu's Existence, you had like
Smash 4 Rage,
random death combos like with Luigi, Samus, Fox, like just all that stuff. And then like you have Joker's Existence, all that stuff. So like Diamond as a mechanic is like, okay, like we have to pay attention to this. Like just that being on the character is like, okay, as competitors, we have to pay attention. But I think the mechanic ended up being more so of like insurance for when he's winning to make him win extra hard and kind of guaranteeing victory rather than a comeback mechanic, which is still great, but it ended up working differently than I think we thought it would. The character's like super defensive, and if he gets a big enough lead and he gets a diamond, I think a lot of the time that's a wrap.
Yeah.
More so than like, okay, I'm getting 3 stocked, let me pull out this diamond and just beat your ass. I think definitely it's more so of like this character wins and then he wins harder for it. But yeah, I think he's definitely weird and different, but I definitely think there's a lot of holes in his gameplay from what I've seen so far. Most of the gameplay is just like not interact with my opponent, like put the blocks down, mine as much as I can. They get close to me, minecart away. The minecart is probably the best move I've seen overall.
Oh, his best move, free.
So until we see some sort of middle ground with like the big training mode combos we've seen, like figuring out ways to bait people into landing those, because the character doesn't have the range to just like hit you with this 60% combo. You have to be up in their face. So I think until there's some sort of middle ground in implementing that like in a truly like consistent competitive way, it's going to be a little awkward for him sometimes, because when things aren't working out, like if he doesn't have the iron or the tools, the character looks like a flailing mess to me a lot of the time. So
Give me the up air, please.
It's one of those characters where like I really don't care to try it myself, so I'm just leaving it to everyone else.
Leaving it to the Salems, leaving it to the buzzes.
Yeah. So like I'm interested to see what they come up with, but for now I'm just like, those are my basic thoughts, and we'll see how it goes from there. But what do you guys think?
I mean,
so go ahead, Pink. Go ahead.
Okay. I mean, same thing. Like when he's across the stage mining, I think one thing that's really, really interesting is a lot of people are like super scared of Diamond, you know, like, oh gosh, he's gonna get Diamond. But for characters that he can't really like approach, or characters that are super mobile or very good zoning characters,
Yeah.
once he gets Diamond, it's like
What actually changes?
it actually sometimes it actually is. Now what? Like sometimes like if a character has to fight you like Falcon or something, it's like, oh snap, like this dude got Diamond.
Yeah.
But if it's like Joker or like
Oh,
Power
snap.
or something, like they're just sitting across the stage, like moving around you because you are extra slow. Like
Technically, nothing has changed at that point. That's something we were talking about before we went live. Like, a lot of people are like, a lot of people think like it's as simple as you can't camp Steve because he gets Diamond and he gets stronger. Like, you can't. But I think at a certain point of the match, and even in general, especially if you're winning hard enough, I think you can definitely wait him out, because it's not like general hitboxes are just huge, or if he's faster, or he's gaining another jump or something. Like, he is the same character. So like, if you are
each game gets better, essentially, right?
He's gonna hit you harder, but
he's not gonna hit you.
You're definitely making some sort of mistake that is like generally wrong anyways.
Right.
Like you see Sephiroth literally, like, he's just stronger, he's faster, he has another jump, like he just becomes God.
One of the most valuable resources in the entire game. Yeah. The bonus jump, like that is, it's very like insane.
And he's
like,
you can't get like it's not like a meter, like it's not going away until like something impactful happens with like getting a kill or dying, like type of thing. So it's there to stay. So like, I think if you're the right character, like, and you're winning hard enough, like, don't think like Steve getting a Diamond is going to change the tide too much. Like, you have the option to just wait it out. Like, he still has to jump like a million times to reach one platform. So, but I think he's solid really enough. But I think right now there's a lot of holes in these flowcharts and game plans I've seen so far. But he's definitely a test on your mental too. Like, if I'm not in the right mood to play against Steve, I'm gonna take a bunch of L's. Like, I don't have the patience to deal with that all the time. Like, so you got to be ready to fight it at least.
That's true.
Yeah, and like for me, it's like Steve has these crazy strong options, and then like his other moves are just like what, like down tilt minus or +5 or something crazy on block.
Once you say plus, grab, I'm already like, question marks are in the air. Like, what do you mean plus?
And then it's like +5.
Yeah, it's like, okay,
like, what?
That's a big mistake by the devs.
Right, and then it's like if you hit a down tilt at 0, you're getting dash grab, down throw, dash attack, or fair into another grab, right, on like these heavies. So it's like this character's combo game is pretty crazy. I actually think his grab is pretty good. Like, it's not good out of shield, obviously, but it's a very long range, right? Yeah. So it's like if you're approaching him, his forward throw sends at an amazing angle off stage. So if you do get a dash grab in the corner, there's a lot of risk reward for a character like Chrom or something like that, where your recovery is pretty trash, and then he's gonna like invalidate you with blocks. Steve to me is like this weird counter pick character. I don't know if I can say he's a high tier counter pick character, like potentially. And like if I had to compare it, it's kind of like how Salem uses Hero to counter pick certain characters, where it's like, oh, you're gonna camp me, so I'm gonna use this character and I'm gonna get something for camping. It's not necessarily gonna win me the game, but like I'm gonna camp you, buff my character up with Hero, right? Where it's kind of like, you know, Steve, where he gets buffed up with Diamond. And he can kind of go from there. He has amazing ledge trap setups where, I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen the gamer video where it like covers every option but wait kind of deal, where he sets up the anvil with the TNT and
there's a lot of times where it feels like you just gotta shake their hand, you're dead in that spot at the ledge. So that's why, like, I think you have to consider camping to a degree, because you don't want to like be winning and then be put in that spot on the ledge where you have no idea what to do, right? So like, as much as everyone says like don't camp Steve, he gets stronger, like don't throw it out the window just yet, because if you fight him and you get put in the scenario on the ledge where he has like 10 blocks of fucking TNT and like anvil, like you might have to take the L for fighting him. So
Right, and it's like this character's strength and like how strong the character is and how weak the character is will vary like drastically, and it all comes situational, right? Like, okay, if I'm Palutena and my Nair beats all of your moves anyway, do I care if you have Diamond? No, but like if I'm playing someone maybe not Palutena, right? Like not every character in the game is blessed with Palutena Nair, so like there's gonna be other characters where it's like, dang, it's already kind of hard for me to air you. If you have Diamond on top of that, like this is not going to be good for me, right? So it's like I think it definitely varies from character to character, situation to situation, right? How much metal does the character have? Because like when you think of Steve in God tier mode, it's like Steve with diamond weapon. He has all of the weapons. None of them are broken. He has another diamond on top of that because he camped you so hard that he got his diamond for the current stock, has the diamond for the next stock. He has a full inventory of metal, so he can literally just like spam minecart as a projectile. Like not even as like a I'm getting out of here. Like I'm projectile grabbing you right now. Like I think the only character in the game that has a projectile grab, right?
Yeah.
And
also, when you
so
get released
like,
from that minecart, I swear to God, you go towards him when you get released.
Yeah.
When you,
and
like,
if you wait
get out of the cart,
Steve will fare you off stage. It's like it's actually hilarious.
Yeah, look, when I get released on stage, it's like I'm getting like it's like it was meant to up smash me after. Like I go towards it. Like what? I have no control over when I get released. But the great thing about getting released off stage is you get pushed up so high. Like if they're not actually hitting you, then like every character, like even Little Mac can make it back most of the time, like that type of thing. So thank God for that. Like imagine if it like sent you downwards or like didn't send you up at all after getting released. Like that would suck. Like getting hit by the projectile grab would have severe consequences.
Yeah, and my biggest thing about like I guess Steve's viability, what I'm concerned about is I think characters like Wolf and Palu like destroy Steve. I think they absolutely dismantle the character. Like it doesn't feel like the character doesn't feel like Steve. And I don't have a ton of data on this, but like through what I've seen, I just feel like those characters destroy Steve. And like we talked about it earlier in the cast where it's like if you have losing matchups to like Wolf and Palu, that's a very big red flag for your character's solo mainable viability, right? Where it's just like, because like not everybody, but a lot of competitive players, they have pocket wolves, they have pocket Palus, right? Like these are very common. It's like the pocket cloud of Smash 4. Like if you're serious about the game, you probably should pocket one of these characters, or it's going to be a very common pocket because these characters are like easy to pick up. It's copy paste fundamentals for the most part, and then like they cover a lot of matchups just because they're so good. So it's like, oh yeah, you pair them with like these other characters to kind of like compensate for their bad matchups. So I think that's a really big red flag. And like we talked about it earlier before the podcast as well, it's like Steve gets put in a lot of awkward situations. One thing I do want to mention, it's like there's stages where he has a specific tool that is just for mining and a shovel, and I wish that they made that like an across the board thing. But there's certain stages that you use your pickaxe to mine to get resources. There's other stages where you use your hatchet to mine and get resources, right? So it's hard to on those stages it's hard to set up the double diamond setup where it's like, okay, I have diamond, I'm gonna mine for another diamond. Because if you mine for another diamond on a stage where you're mining with pickaxe, then you get your second diamond, but now you don't have pickaxe. So the rest of your stock you're not fairing or bearing, right? So it's like, how are you spacing them out horizontally? But you have that other diamond for your next stock, but do you use that diamond to get the pickaxe or not, right? It's like, and then on top of that, there's metal management. So it's like, and on the reverse side of that, are you playing on a stage with hatchet? This one's not as bad where it's like, okay, I lost my hatchet, but I got my second diamond. I can't up tilt or up air, but that's still very important anti-air tools and combo tools, right? So it's like kind of you get put in a lot of these like weird, awkward situations where you have to make these really like not so great, like almost a lose-lose situation on decisions where it's like I either play the rest of the stock with no up tilt or up air, or I burn my diamond to get my up tilt and up air, but I don't have diamond for the next stock. And it's just those awkward situations and almost like feels like lose-lose situations, like it just doesn't impress me as much for the character, and I just don't feel like the character can do that great. And on top of all that, like his base stats are just so bad. Like I think his base stats are trash.
My final statement on Steve is I'm kind of waiting on this like middle ground I was talking about with like the baits, like when he's like camping, like and baiting their opponent and like getting like the big combos. I want to see some sort of middle ground there But at the end of the day, like I'm leaving it up to the community. I'm not gonna play Steve, like so. Like
someone else could do it.
Yeah, like so whatever happens. But yeah, there seems to be some flaws in the general gameplay I see. Like if they have iron, they are minecarting, and like it is that simple. So like we'll see what happens like as time goes by. But yeah, that's definitely my final thoughts on Steve at the moment.
Just because we did it for Min, what's like a tier list? Like top 30 fun, top 40, top 80.
Yo, he's definitely top 80, bro.
It's weird. Like,
or you could say bottom 80. Depends on what type of vibe you're trying to give up.
Yeah, I went last, so I'll go first. I'll go like top 35, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I'll say top 40.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like, because he's like this weird character where he will demolish and invalidate certain matchups, right? Like some of these mid and low tier matchups, and maybe even high tier or high/top tier matchups, where it's just like, oh, your recovery gets invalidated by blocks, right? But then you go up against like these top tier checks, so to speak, like Wolf and Palu, right? And it's just like, oh, you just get destroyed. So yeah, I would
shoot this gun at you.
Say top 40.
Like, I'm gonna shoot this gun at you and see what happens.
My 40 is top 40 for me is high tier. Like I think half the cast is high tier. That's like my general thinking. I would put him at like top of mid, so like 40th one-ish, like that area or whatever. You're either gonna be like bottom of the barrel high tier, or you're gonna be top of mid. Just because like your highs are high, like when you do invalidate certain characters with block and stuff, but like your base stats and your consistency are just so bad. I just can't like put you any higher than that.
Yeah. Palutena like presses back air, or Wolf like shoots the laser, and they're like, okay, what happens when I do that? Oh, like you did nothing. Okay, well, this is gonna be this is gonna be a fun match. I know the outcome, so it is up to you. How fast do you want this to happen? That's about it.
Leads us to the most recent DLC character.
Yeah.
Your boy.
Who's that?
Good old Sephiroth.
Sephiroth.
Broken as shit. I'm gonna start off by saying this character is so good. Don't.
Dude, wait, can we talk about the reveal though? Okay. I think that character reveal was the best Smash reveal ever. Like
by far. Like it's not even like comparable. Dude, they had CG Banjo in that shit.
Yes.
They had DLC characters in the World of Light sequence thing. Dude, like what was that? They had like CG Cloud for the first time ever. Cloud wasn't even CG in his reveal. That trailer was actually insane. Like
it was.
I still watch it. Sephiroth has been out for a month. Like a couple nights ago, I was like laying down and I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna watch the Sephiroth reveal. Like, when have I done that for any other character?
And like to put in perspective, this like the beginning of Ultimate, right? We get the World of Light premiere. This entity literally shits on the entire Smash cast. Kirby barely gets away because of Sakurai plot armor, but barely gets away on the Warp Star, right? But Galeem, this entity just completely just shits on the whole entire Smash cast, right? And then he gets slashed in half.
Once.
One-shotted.
Yeah.
Okay? One-shotted. And then everyone's just like, oh my god, someone saved us, yes, right? And then like Cloud just has the concerned look on his face, and it's just Sephiroth like did that, and the best thing was like Sephiroth did that and wasn't even like, I didn't do that to save you guys. I just did that just to like get this dude out of the way, and I want to shit on all of them. Like I'm gonna bring this.
He wasn't even invited, bro.
He
didn't even have an invitation, man.
Yeah, uninvited. This guy came uninvited.
He just showed up.
And I just feel like that's so Sephiroth. The way they brought him in is just like, I'm ultimate power. Like I just want to shit on everything. I'm gonna bring despair to all of Smash. Like that was such a perfect way to bring him in, and they put so much resources in terms of like the CGI and all that. It was phenomenal. Just like the best Smash reveal by far. It was so good.
Dude, I saw people who had no idea who Sephiroth was like, why is this trailer this good? Like,
Yeah.
it's just the best. Like I can't recall a trailer with like DLC characters in CG in it, like Hero, Banjo, like what the
It
heck?
was so cool. It was so cool. But yeah, I guess we can get into the character now.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like one thing I appreciate is you can tell that they wanted to make him strong, but they didn't want him to be like Smash 4 broken. It's like Smash 4 Cloud broken, right? Like you can tell it went into that. Like what went into that. Like there's certain like things are certain moves are lagging on the ground and stuff. Like it I appreciate the fact that they're like, okay, we want this guy to be strong, but we don't want to like overtune him, right? So that is definitely something
Whenever I
appreciate.
would think about Sephiroth being in Smash, I always had this expectation that it'd be like extreme range, but like you need some sort of like Belmont precision. This was before
Right.
like he was in the game at all. I was like thinking something like that. But I'm glad what they did was like you need the precision with the hitboxes. They have some startup and some lag to them. But I'm glad that like instead of like making him ridiculous range and then just I'm glad they didn't just make him slow is basically what I'm getting at. Like he's still fun and he's not balanced like a lot of the other characters have been balanced where it's like, okay, give them all this stuff, but just make them
crap base stats.
Just make them immobile. Like so they can't like, you know, like confirm off of their stuff, but they have like just great raw moves. I'm glad Sephiroth is actually pretty quick. And like having things like the side B set play and the neutral air and like throw combos, like it definitely completes him. And he's not just like the distance demon or whatever everyone calls it. Like he actually has some depth to the gameplay, and it's not just outranging people.
I'm glad you brought up the base stat thing because I feel like that's a very common formula that Nintendo's been doing for a lot of these DLCs, excluding like Sephiroth and Joker, where it's just like, oh, okay, we'll give them like these crazy broken moves. Okay, yep, that's one. That's a broken move. That's a broken move, and let's give them shit base stats. And like broken moves are fun to play with, but I think what's more fun to play with is it's like a in between middle ground where you have like some pretty broken moves, but like you have the base stats to be creative. Because the more base stats you have, the more creativity can be injected into your gameplay. Where it's like, okay, I can get certain follow ups or certain resets with this speed and stuff like that, right? And it's like Sephiroth feels like he has that. He has like the broken moves, but they're not like minecart level broken. But like he has the base stats where it's like, oh, I can do some mix-ups and do some combos off of it, right? And it just like that part about Sephiroth is what like makes it feel so fun for me to play him.
Yeah, I another thing that I saw chat mention is like I'm glad that they didn't make him slow, and instead of like making him like slow and heavy, they made him pretty fast and really light. Like I would much rather the character be really light than just sacrificing the fun. Like
right. And they made him tall, right? Like you're a Mewtwo in a sense where it's like you're easy to hit, you're light, but like you have these insane range tools and stuff like that. You got the mobility, right? Like it's just like that quick, nimble character that like just having mobility is just always going to be fun.
I'm just glad the one time they changed the formula a bit was for the character I wanted, because like everyone like for like the few days or whatever after he was revealed, and everyone would keep asking me, are you sure you're gonna main him? Like what if he's really slow? Like I would just kind of like ignore it and just like I'll say no, I'll still main him, but like part of me is still worried that like he's gonna be slow and boring, and I'm just glad he ended up being what he is. Like online has been really tough for me to play him because of like it's really hard to like
he's so much stronger offline. Yeah,
I can't react or be precise, because if there was like a little like if there was just like a few frames shaved off of the input delay or his moveset in general, like I could work with it. But like you're always slightly off because of like it's just you just always have to be one step ahead rather than reacting. So like I'm still learning, and there's still like so much amazing stuff about him online or offline that like I can work with it. But like there's so many basic scenarios, right? Like, you know, I like a whiff punish or like at the ledge where it's like I just can't react.
right. It's like because so much of his moves have the range, but they're committal in terms of like landing lag, right?
Yeah.
So it's like there's other characters in Ultimate where it's like, oh, I'm gonna commit this move and space with it, but like like Ultimate is literally has auto L cancel installed into it, so it's like it's not really that committal, right?
Yeah.
And it's like shield is so bad anyway that like you probably won't get punished.
That's what
Like,
I
you
always
might
try to
probably can squeeze in
explain
a spot dodge.
with Sephiroth is like when I'm playing Diddy, like obviously I'd prefer to play offline, but I have so many potential mix-ups with what I'm doing that there's always a way to like have some sort of consistency even if I'm playing online. Like there's always a way to like, you know, like I don't just have one option to go for in this scenario, and it's like if I time it on Wi-Fi, great. If I don't, damn. Like with Diddy, like there's so much more to work with, and I can practice so many other things. But with Sephiroth, it's like, is the connection good enough? The answer is no. and if it's not, then like, damn, like you're just gonna have to focus on anything else you possibly can. Like his play styles aren't in depth enough, and that's not because the character's lacking. It's just like that's how he works. So like that's definitely the hard part for me so far. But in terms of like, I've been playing competitive Smash a long time, and I've also played like a lot of characters, and like I know for a fact that this character is broken.
I talk about all the people that thought he wasn't though.
Oh,
On
well,
release.
okay.
After like 2 weeks, people were still like, dude, this character isn't even that good. And I'm like, how
He is fucked up.
That? I was
okay.
So,
Play against
like,
a matchup where the character has like recovery as a hitbox and press down B off stage and tell me this character isn't broken. Oh my god, dude!
And it was a common opinion. A lot of people
yeah.
were saying that, like they're like, I don't really. It's like just because this character doesn't have auto cancel, like I think that's what it was. I think people were playing him, and dude, this is one of my biggest guiltiest pleasures ever. I love it. I absolutely love it when I see someone and they're playing Sephiroth, and I can just tell right off the bat, I'm like, Ultimate was your first competitive Smash game. I'm like watching them play, and they're like trying to mash all these aerials, and they're just getting jammed. They're getting shit on, and
they're
I'm
getting
like,
shield grabbed every time.
You need fundamentals to play Sephiroth. You can't just fucking whip out your hitboxes over and over again. Like, no, that's not how this works. You have lag. Like, and like if you come from Smash 4, if you come from Brawl, like your moves didn't have auto L cancel. Like when you committed to a hitbox, there was landing lag on most of your moves, and it was just like there was some kind of commitment to it, right? But in fucking Ultimate, like there's auto L cancel on everything. So like especially if Ultimate's your first game, like everyone's just like trying to fucking whip out their dick and just like press all their buttons, right? And you cannot do that with Sephiroth. You will get fucked for doing that with Sephiroth, and it's just so hilarious when I'm watching someone play Sephiroth, and I can just clearly tell Ultimate's their first game, and then those are the kind of people that you see on Twitter, like, yeah, I don't know, man, Sephiroth's not that strong, like he doesn't like feel good, you know, and like
why is my dash attack unsafe on shield?
Yeah, it's just like it's like, wow, you actually have to space something out like at like the max range it's intended to be spaced at, and you have to control, you know, the area of the stage and abuse your range, but like you have to apply fundamentals for it to be strong. And I think that's a big reason why a lot of people's initial thoughts were that this character was weak, not that good. And you have to, I feel like when you're looking at a character, you have to look at their tools and be like, okay, these are the character's tools. Like, now let's apply like top level fundamentals to this, and like how will this character fare, right? Like what is he going to be weak to and stuff like that, and what is the consistency of the character. And I think Sephiroth definitely has those tools to be that top tier character.
Yeah, I think he's like the first character since Joker to like be on that type of level. I know, like, you don't hear me talking about, I don't talk about tier lists or anything often, like, on my stream. Like, I just don't like that topic. Maybe I just get it too much, but, dude, that character is ridiculous. Like, and the thing is, like, he doesn't have a bunch of playstyle differences to where like he's just a different character in all these different matchups, but he has enough differences in what he goes for in every matchup to where like he isn't relying on the side B in every matchup. So if a character has an absorb or like a reflect, he doesn't need it, but like in the matchups where it's valuable, it's very valuable. Like, so like he's I just haven't ran into a matchup where I'm like, I can't do this. The only times where I've been like, okay, like this is just really difficult, it's like I usually chalk it up to online, which is like, I don't know if it's just a coping mechanism, but like I really have faith that a lot of these matchups have been great. Like definitely potential.
And he's like so unique too, right? Like
I think he could be a top 10 character in the future.
yeah, I agree, dude. And like it's so cool that they
Yo,
brought,
Marcus,
like,
you got
set
something to
play in.
say, man?
Nah, bro. I'm just, I was just kind of curious
Marcus
on y'all.
smart out here.
What, you don't think so?
Dude, top 10. Bro, all right. Name.
That is like definitely an intense opinion.
Yeah, because you gotta think about like the top 10 characters who.
Marcus coming in with the reality check.
I know. I'm what? No, I mean he could be like 10th or something like that. Because you got to figure like he's probably not better than Joker. He's probably not better than Pikachu.
Right.
Okay, well, yes. Any
Wolf.
character that gets released from here on out is not better than those two.
Yeah, he's probably not better than Paolo. He's probably not better than Wolf. He's probably not better than Zero Suit. He's probably not better than Peach. He's probably not better than Sonic's close.
Mario, Sonic,
Wario,
Sonic. You got your you got your Wario. You got
no,
your
Wario.
Robin,
He's better than
Pac-Man.
Wario.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
better than Wario.
You have and then tournament
I
environment.
don't care about tournament environment.
That's why you play the game. Wait, what?
You definitely care about tournament environment.
No,
Get out of here.
these people are just scared of one move. Like, I ain't
Because
scared.
that one move deletes your stock at
I ain't
20.
scared. I ain't scared of Waft.
I ain't afraid of no WAP.
I'm not afraid of Waft. I'll play against Wario with any of my characters right now. I ain't scared of Waft. You know I'm not.
He definitely not.
You wanna have some fucking VOD review right now? I've definitely played against top Warriors with like all these different characters. I don't even have to do it. Let's watch. I'll show you what
tournament environment. Besides you, the majority of the world is scared of
Okay.
Most human beings.
All right,
are
conversation
scared.
done. I understand.
Oh my god. Okay, but it's like it's definitely I think it's gonna be tough. And like
Top
here's
10 might
another
be a
thing too
stretch.
with
I'll
Sephiroth.
admit it. Let's go top 20. Let's be
Top 15. Top 15. I think
let's
top
fucking
15.
go. Top 15. Let's do it.
I'll say top 15.
Let's go.
For sure tough.
It's like for me, I think Sephiroth will fall between top 15 to top 20
Okay.
in that like 5 character, section, right? Because like that 5 character section, that's where you start coming into like the Robs, the Pac-Mans, where it's like okay, like maybe not the most consistent like your Wolves and your Palus, but like the BS levels are pretty up there, right? And I think Sephiroth definitely has the ability to do that. It's
You know what character we should talk about next that isn't DLC but might as well be DLC? We should talk about Diddy Kong.
I knew it was gonna be Diddy Kong.
This character might as well be new to the game right now.
Speaking of which, you think Sephiroth is better than Diddy Kong?
Diddy Kong, you have to understand how hard it is to place Diddy Kong on the tier list. The thing is, that's probably why the tier list is like so annoying for me to think about right now, because everyone's asking about Diddy. Dude, I don't know. Like, this character loses.
Diddy has some pretty trash matchups. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he does have some bad matchups.
Like really
Like
bad.
some bad, really bad zoner matchups, like Mega Man and Pac-Man. But
Like,
Yeah.
I'm like doing well against Joker, but like I don't know how to beat Isabel. Like how like how do you rate that? I think so. Instead of like talking pure tier list and pure numbers, like the thing with Diddy is I just think he's broken as hell. Like he's so unfair in so many ways. I don't know how to rate him, but when I play this character and like all these things I'm practicing and like I'm still just scratching the surface a lot of the time. Like, dude, what is this damage output? What are these like mix-ups and traps? Like what do you do? Like what do some of these, like, especially like even all these like top, what do they do when they're in these spots? Like he just has infinite mix-ups and like they all lead to like ridiculous damage, and he even has so many ways to get like super early kills too. That I think Diddy and Sheik are in the same conversation a lot, just because they're like the Smash 4. They're like the Smash 4 top tiers, and they're like, you know, the out neutral you type of characters, but they're not killing you early. Diddy kills you at like fucking 20 sometimes with the Z drop dare, because his spike is so strong.
The dare base knockback is insane.
Yeah, like, so like let's talk about like Banana and how it's transcendent. So,
and how important that is in ultimates, particularly ultimate.
So let's talk about the Z drop dare first, because we're talking about how he can actually get early kills sometimes. So when you drop the banana at the ledge, no hitbox beats it. It'll just hit them even when they're attacking through the ledge to recover or whatever, and it true combos into his spike. So it's basically like a full like second plus transcendent spike confirm. So like let's word it like that. Like listen to that. Like that's broken.
Yes.
So and he just has so many other basic ways to kill you. Like monkey flip just straight up kills you now, like at reasonable percents at the ledge. Kind of like how Wario Bite just kills. Like I don't know why they do this with these command grabs, but he has banana in hand. He's doing Z drop aerials, and then all of a sudden he monkey flips you, and you die for that too. It's like, what do you do?
Right, and another thing is like when he has banana in hand, it's not like he can't do aerials, right? Like that's usually the consequence, right? But like with Z drop recatch, it's like you have banana in hand, and if you're a good enough player, you can do aerials at certain heights, at certain drifts. Yes, like you're limited in that sense, but you're still able to throw out these aerials. And I think another thing to like really take note here is, I know you shouldn't only base your opinion on characters based off of what top players are saying, but like I've known Gavin for a long time, and a lot of characters he picks up, and even just like top level players' opinions in general, right? Like Gavin plays a lot of characters, and they feel very surface level to him, and they can be, and like he's able to like dissect it to a point where it's like, okay, boom, 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 okay, like this is what the character wants to do, blah blah blah, right? But like the fact that he's playing Diddy and he feels like he's scratching the surface of the character, that's like a big flag to me personally, because it's like Gavin just knows a lot about the game. So it's like if he feels like he's only scratching the surface of the character, there's so much more the character can be pushed, right? And that's going to be a lot of like high skill ceiling characters, but like that's pretty insane. Even like if you watch Gavin's Diddy now and you see what he does with the character now, and if he feels like he's only scratching the surface, he's not just saying that so, you know, Diddy can get nerfed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Gavin's just being genuine, right? Like if he really wanted to grime everything out, he would just be like, man, this character sucks, and then like hopefully nobody nerfs him or whatever. And like, you know what I mean? Like the whole ZSS sucks meme, right? Like whatever. But it's like that in itself is like a pretty big deal in my opinion. And then like you actually look and break down the character, right? Like, and a transcendent projectile. This is why Wolf's Blaster's so good, right? Like, okay, I'm Wolf. I can dash attack to catch your landing because it propels me and makes me move faster than my dash, right? Try to kill you off it, whatever, right? Or just hit you off stage. Or you're about to land with no double jump, and it's like the Sheik Needle thing, where it's like I'm gonna throw Sheik Needle, or I'm gonna throw my Wolf Blaster, and it's gonna get you because you have no double jump. No matter if you mash an aerial, no matter if you air dodge, and you'll get lag on the ground after, right? I will get damage, and it's guaranteed. And like the low risk, medium to low reward, right? But like banana's the same thing, but it's high reward because you get a slip off of it. And no matter if you mash or not, the fact that it's transcendent. So in Smash 4, you could mash and you could hit it, and it wasn't transcendent. It was transcendent in Brawl, which that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, like the fact that it's transcendent in this game and auto L cancels a thing, so like you being able to beat out the mash option in Ultimate is super important. And Diddy has that, and he gets the reward off of a slip into like a forward smash. And that, like, Diddy Kong just has a bunch of like consistent confirms where it's like I'm killing you at 130 to 150, which is very important. And then he also has like, well, the base knockback on this move is insane. Like I'm slipping you at the edge at 80, I'm charging forward smash, you're dead, or I'm spiking you with a transcendent Z drop banana, killing you 20-ish% or whatever. Like he just has the perfect like things to weave in that are like these moves just have dummy strong base knockback, and I have things that set up into these moves. So it's like he has setups starting from 20, then like in the 80 range, and then at the 130 to 150, like this character is always going to be able to like have the threat of killing you, right?
Yeah, the one of the more important things to view it as with Diddy is like So he still has access to a command grab, and he still has access to Z-drop aerials, and at some percents, those Z-drop aerials combo into the toss itself. So basically, Diddy's threat range is the entire stage, while still having access to fighting somewhat normally. So and in a game like Ultimate, where there's a lot of buttons being pressed with low lag, and a lot of defensive options being buffered after it, I think the most valuable thing about items in general, not even just banana, is that you have the option to ignore a lot of the guessing that would happen if you were to like do these like aerials up close and these defensive options up close, while also getting significant damage from afar. So projectiles and items are just very valuable in that sense. You get to minimize the guessing a little bit, while also like getting follow-ups and damage in general. And the thing with Diddy is he's getting significant damage from any range, and he has multiple routes and avenues to take regardless of what he gets. Like, it's never like a set in stone thing. Like, sometimes there's resets that won't be as much damage, but it may lead into an early stock if you get the right read. Sometimes they're super optimal, like 70% combos. Sometimes you'll just get a smash attack or a grab. Like, and just that concept with the transcendency of the banana is just ridiculous, man. Like, the character is insane. And like, there's so many small tricks in between too. And like, don't even get me started on monkey flip. Basically, the character is ridiculous. He's definitely the most in-depth character I've played / seen in Ultimate. So like, it's definitely something I needed to keep me interested, I think. It just took a while to find it.
And his up smash is frame 5.
Yeah.
Fastest up smash in the
And
game,
they buffed
baby.
it, so it's actually a decent kill move now. It was weaker before. Dude. And that dash attack just combos forever. He just always gets a follow-up.
Yeah, I mean, it's the 4 magical words, right? Low risk, high reward, and Diddy's banana is like literally is incarnate of that.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, it's just, I mean, he's so good. It's so interesting to me how like underdeveloped Ultimate is. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's so crazy to me that like the top level talent pool, it affects the meta. I mean, obviously, like the top level talent pool is always going to affect the meta of a game, but like how impactful it is to Ultimate is just insane, because it's like there's all these other Diddies, like, and they're good players, but then when Gavin picks up the character, it's like your opinion on the character just like completely flip flops. It's like pretty ridiculous, and it's like even with like Sheik and Void, you know what I mean? Like there's like there's certain players that like can push certain characters like
There's still certain characters far. I'm just waiting for the truth to be revealed. Whether it's them being worse or better than they're like generally viewed. And like obviously like we've talked about Smash for a long time. Like, you guys know how I feel about Sheik. Like, Sheik is very, very good.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what happens to Ultimate. It doesn't matter what happens to Sheik. Sheik, it will always be very, very good. Just like Diddy will always be very, very good. That character is just not okay. And there's still this one character. I've stopped talking about it, but there's still this one character that
my God,
I don't want you guys to I don't want you guys to forget about it. Inkling.
No.
I'm just saying, the truth always comes out eventually. I don't know when. It's not going to be from me. I'm not going to be playing the character. But Sheik and Inkling, man.
Both of those characters are very like neutral based. I guess Sheik's more punish based, but like, dude, you have to be so good at the game to abuse Inkling. Like, you almost like, it's almost inhuman what you have to do with Inkling. But like, Inkling is still very broken. But the one thing that kind of has made me crank down Inkling on my personal tier list is it's hard for Inkling to thrive with rage. I think thriving with rage.
We had this conversation, yeah.
Right. It's a very important part of being a top tier, because you're going to have rage more than you're not going to have rage, if that makes sense. Because as you get into higher percents, you will take less risk, as you should. Do not be whipping out dash attacks Like spamming dash attacks when you're at 150 is just not smart. Like, you know what I mean? So it's very important for your character to be able to thrive with rage. Inkling, it's like the up throw up air is so important, but like it's only really, really good and consistent without rage, right? And the matchups that like it's online with rage, Inkling just shits on the characters, right? Like heavies and stuff like that. Like that's where Inkling will thrive. And if you cannot die from or even get mixed from up throw up air because Inkling has rage, guess what? You can spam shield. You'll still get ledge trapped and stuff, and that's where that's where the on paper starts to activate, right? Like why aren't you ledge trapping people like to death with this setup? Like that's absolutely insanely broken because it detonates, right? And it can catch ledge hang. So it's like I don't know. Inkling is still really good. I think you just have to almost like be so godlike at the game or like play so well.
It'll happen. It'll happen. It'll happen.
One day it will happen.
It'll
for
happen.
Sure. I think it'll take some time, but like it's definitely like Joker is not good for that reason, right? Joker is good because you can make a lot of mistakes. And
Yes.
Inkling is one of those characters. Inkling's one of those characters where it's like you can't make a lot of mistakes and win. Like you have every single tool to not ever make a mistake. You literally go into the ground when you dash. Like you know what I mean? Like you have all these insanely good tools to not ever make mistakes, but like I don't think the players are quite there in terms of like gameplay. As to where Joker, like you still have overall really strong tools, and then you have like this ridiculous comeback factor where it's just like, oh, you won neutral 30% of the time, but you pushed advantage state really well because you have moves that kill people at 40. Congratulations, you won the game. Like that's Joker. Like it's like that I've seen that happen in tournament. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, like I think that's with Joker and Pikachu, I think that's a common misunderstanding is like they think these characters are like they're really hard, but it's really rewarding when you pull off whatever they're saying is really hard, right? Like
dude, that 3-hit combo is super hard with Joker, man.
But
super hard execution, forward air into jump, delay, up air, drag down, down smash. Super hard confirm, man. This character's so hard to play. Like,
okay,
dude, that's not hard. That is not hard.
I understand, but like, hear me out. So I think like they're not considering the factor that like with Joker, it's like Arsene and like you can make so many mistakes and still be rewarded, and like you still have like you have more opportunities to win than anyone else. So along with that isn't even the way you generally would want to win anyway. You're just getting extra opportunities that no one else really has. Pikachu is a similar thing. With Pikachu, it's like, oh, like I messed up my drag down combo, like I didn't get like a 100% combo or whatever, right? So, but the thing about Pikachu is it's similar. Like, even if you mess up some sort of combo, you're still getting them like off stage and like they have to guess for their life, or you have this ridiculous ledge trap, or like even if you mess up to the point where you're disadvantaged, like you have a better disadvantage than everyone else. Like, so in those senses with Joker and Pikachu, you're so much stronger than everyone else, along with having so many opportunities to mess up. So even if the characters are harder than the others, they're still like, you do just factually have more opportunities. Especially like, it's a lot easier to explain with Joker because Arsene is so visually just right there. With Pikachu, it's a little harder because like at first it just looks like a dropped combo or something. But with Joker, it's like God mode type of thing, right? So I think
and you have gun too.
Yeah,
you have the tools to like get to that point on a consistent level. And like, okay, I'm gonna bring up a character that I particularly don't like competing against, but like I like Terry is a character where you get go meter and you can delete someone's stock at 50 or whatever. And I've hated Shotos since Smash 4.
Yeah.
Personally like playing against them, but I know for a fact that Terry's not a top tier. I don't think Terry's top tier. I don't think he's top 20 at all. Because he doesn't have the tools so Joker has down gun, right? So you go high almost in every situation. You can double jump out of disadvantage, and like your opponent literally just has to hold that L. Like, oh, I hit you, I'm gonna try and juggle you, quote unquote, but like I have to literally like be godlike geometry, line everything up, read exactly when you're gonna gun drift in, notice that I'm not committing to you, then gun drift backwards and perfectly line up this back air to hit you, right? And you know, Joker is heavy and like heavier than Wolf, so it's like he's not like that Pikachu factor where if you do get that solid read, you just get the kill, right? So it's like he's like Terry's weight does set him up for those situations like that, but like the hardest thing about Terry is crack shoot. But once you bait out the crack shoot or the crack shoot is used, he is like a top player will literally just him, right? Once the crack shoot is baited or once the crack shoot is used.
Yeah.
So crack shoot is nowhere near like crack shoot is still really good. Don't get me wrong; it's a very quick move, but it's not even close to being how good gun is.
Yeah.
So you got Joker that has like a very power, like straight like knockback power, similar to someone like Terry. But Joker has the tools to consistently get into that situation, as to where Terry doesn't even have anything close to something like gun to consistently get into the situation where like max rage, go meter, like let's go.
The thing about Joker too. One funny thing before I like go in depth about like another aspect of Joker that isn't really talked about. I always find it funny when like if I'm playing against Joker, if like I'm watching someone play against Joker and they hit Joker and then the Joker goes into like the down gun thing and they just go onto the platform and they're just like, don't hurt me, like even though like Joker is the one who just got hit, all of a sudden I'm like, shit, he's gonna shoot me. Like that's so funny. Like I can't.
Why is this character always winning?
Yeah,
this character's always winning.
Like he gets Arsene after the hit, and he's like just shooting you from above, like going to the corner now. It's time for me to win.
Oh, by the way,
by
the way, don't get hit by this gun. I can confirm it into my back air that kills you at 50. Like what? What is happening to me right now? Like didn't I just win neutral?
You had your fun. You hit me one time. Now it's my turn, and the game is over. By the way, like that's so funny, but. Something I want to talk about Joker is like you talk about Terry with like his ridiculous offense, like or like Ken or Ryu with their ridiculous offense, like they can potentially break your shield, they'll do a ridiculous amount of damage, like it's really hard to like reset once they get in, they'll kill you really early. The thing with Joker is he'll do that in a very similar fashion, right? Sometimes even off like a grab. But the thing is Joker also has the potential to chip you out and camp you and time you out better than even like Sonic, because his projectiles do so much damage, he's so mobile, he has so many movement options that like so he can just turn up the jets or turn off the jets at any moment. So he has the options to play matchups in more ways than I've seen any character do that. So like when I see people complain about Joker's out of shield or like hitting small characters, I feel like there's so many more options to play any matchup with Joker. Like I was talking about with Sephiroth with online, how I struggle like because I just can't time things or something like that. Joker is similar in the sense where or is different in the sense where you can play a matchup in so many different ways. You can rush them down and kill them super early and edge guard them and ledge trap them. Or you can just side B and gun away and just get that stray back air or that stray hit for kills and just run the clock. While also having what we were talking about with like, you know, you can so much room for error with Arsene and stuff. A lot of these characters who camp, if they mess up their flowchart or their game plan, there isn't really coming back from it, right? If you want to stick to that timeout style. Joker can just be like, well, I messed up, I got hit, but I got Arsene from it. So now I'm doing more damage and I can continue, you know, this timeout playstyle I want to continue after using my meter up or whatever. Or I can just do more damage with my projectiles with Arsene because side B starts doing 20, guns start shooting mad bullets. So that's the craziest thing about Joker to me. And when I tried him out, I was kind of trying to prove a point with how defensive he could be, and I think in the future it's gonna get pretty difficult when more Joker players start doing that, because we haven't seen it yet.
I love when Joker players complain about short characters. I'm like, motherfucker, you are a short character. Wait, what's going on? Like, you just as short as Pikachu when you dashing around, like. Yeah. And his hurt box is really scrawny. Like I've seen Jokers like just fall out of combos just because of how like scrawny the hitbox is, kind of like similar to Sheik. It's just like, what is happening? And then they'll talk about how bad their out of shield is, and I'm like, you're just bad. You're not footstooling, gunning into back airing people. Like that's like a thing. That's like a real thing. You can footstool out of shield and gun people. Like,
Yeah.
it's
It's crazy that he has
thing about
time
this character-
to footstool, shoot the gun forward, and transition to down. It looks so weird, but it's a thing.
Right, and it's like this character is so good, and like the crazy thing is, I don't think it's as crazy as Diddy in terms of skill ceiling, like how far away the current Jokers are from like the max skill ceiling, but like they're not really that close either, right? Like I think the character has so much more potential to grow. I think even like how Gavin was saying, like I feel like people are playing the character pretty linearly. Like you really can play the character however you want, and even in certain bad matchups, you always have like some kind of answer. And I feel like the character can be so much better than like what the character is, and that's like pretty insane that I'm saying that because the best player in the world mains the character. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the fact that even I don't even think Leo particularly has even brought the character close to like its max potential is pretty fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like that's just really goes to show like how strong I think the character is.
All right, so we've been talking for about an hour. Is there anything you guys want to specifically talk about? Do you guys want to talk with the chat? This is our first time doing this podcast, so I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. If you guys have anything you want to talk about, we've been talking about characters in Ultimate. We even talked about characters that weren't DLC characters.
True.
So if there's anything you guys want to chat about Ultimate related, there's been a lot going on in Smash. So if you guys, the mic is yours.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can stick to characters and see like chat questions, maybe.
Yeah.
Like do like a short Q&A before we wrap it up, so we don't end up going for like
Hazard's
3 hours.
on stage list. I know Charles messed with that.
I'm passionate about this one. I can go on forever. I don't know if you guys want me to start on the stage list. Right?
Maybe another time.
that will go on forever.
Thoughts on Mega Man? Mega Man.
Okay. Mega Man's pretty underrated in my opinion.
He's at least a little, right?
Right. He's like I think Mega Man's strong. I think when a lot of people in the chat probably don't know like why Mega Man got shit on in Smash 4, but he didn't really have a get off me tool. He didn't like, so you know how like most of the time you get hit, you can like try to like nair. Like most characters have like some kind of defensive, like or some kind of offensive thing to do in like defense when they're getting hit and disadvantage, right? Mega Man didn't have that in Smash 4, but they gave him Leaf Shield in this game. So in this game, Leaf Shield kind of comes out somewhat fast, right? Pretty good. Is a great like get off me tool. So they definitely, I think in Ultimate they did a really good job of rounding characters out, and that was like something that Mega Man really needed. So yeah, I think and like you got all your Salt Blade stuff. They buffed Fair, right? Like they just really
that
gave this
4 there,
character,
man. That's what I expected it to be in 4 when I first saw him be revealed, which is like so long ago.
Flaming sword.
Do you
like,
remember the down smash when he got revealed and it did like
it was like multi hits or something.
I was like, what the
Yeah, I think he's solid. I think there's like he just has some depth to him, and he has like so many ways to just like hold down neutral, like kind of like what we were talking about with Steve, where like when he's winning, like if they keep it up, you might as well shake their hand, right? And the flaws are like very minimal. A lot of these zoners, for some reason, they have you could even go as far as to say they don't have weaknesses, like Pac-Man and stuff. Mega Man definitely has a super exploitable recovery, and I'm pretty sure a lot of 2-frames are pretty successful versus it too. So other than that, I think he's really solid. Nico asked, is Cloud good?
I think Cloud
is interesting.
Top tier.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I think
he's pretty good.
High tier.
Really solid.
He's very popular online right now, but I think there's definitely some flaws in the gameplay, especially with like not having a grab. Barely having a grab.
What holds Mega Man back is like in terms of the zoner IP or the zoner archetype is he doesn't have like that broken boxing option, right? Like when I get up to Mega Man, I feel like I've successfully accomplished the mission. Like, okay, I'm next to the zoner. Now you're scared of me. Like you have to respect me. I did what I was supposed to do. I did my job. I'm gonna get paid out here, right? I'm next to you. I'm gonna start boxing optioning you and stuff like that. But like I think that's what really holds Mega Man back. He has like all these good zoning tools, and he's like even I think he has like winning matchups on characters like Snake and stuff. But like other characters get up next to him, and it could be a really big issue.
Wolf versus Mega Man.
Charles, everybody wants you to talk about Fox.
Oh, dude, the Fox Dare buffs, dude. Give me like to be fair, that move like didn't work. Okay, like it just didn't even fucking work. So now that the move works, it's like I actually think.
Would you say it works Ultimate a little too well?
Yeah, I think Ultimate Dare is better than Smash 4 Dare.
Oh,
and
okay.
in a game where parry mix-ups were probably like one of the biggest things, like before Fox couldn't parry mix you up because like if he did with down air, the move didn't work 80% of the time, so you didn't have to give a fuck. You could be like, okay, I'm gonna go parry nair. If he hits me with dare, who cares? Like it doesn't matter, it doesn't work. But now you have to actually care about it, right?
Like, so now he's Fox the best parry punisher by far.
Right. Yeah. Even like now down air out of shield is actually a legit punish too. Like because before if you did like a laggy move, it's like okay, I can dare out of shield, it's not gonna work. But now it's like, oh, you're at like 90 and I got rage. I'm gonna dare out of shield. I'm gonna fast fall it after off the rising, and I'm gonna up smash shit out of you. It's like Fox, I might be like a top tier character after like that's how big I think the dare buffs was. I think Fox might be a top tier character because that was a huge thing holding him back. Obviously, he can still be inconsistent with his weight and how exploitable and shitty side B is in this game. And like, but it's like it's so weird, right? Like they made side B bad in this game, or not bad, but like way more exploitable, way easier to react to. But then they made that up B really good. There's like a lot of matchups where I sink low and I up B because it's like you could die at 30 if you fuck this up and get stage spike and just lose, right?
The damage output, man.
Right, or just take a crap ton of damage. They just made the hitbox on up B way bigger. I actually think that more so is a lot well-rounded. It's a bigger execution barrier to edgeguard up B than side B, which is weird because it was swapped before. In Smash 4, it was a huge execution barrier to edgeguard side B because it was so quick and it went through shields, right? But it was like edgeguarding up B was like free as shit in Smash 4. Now it's flipped. So it's like, it's super weird in that sense. But I also think that there's certain matchups that if you have an easy answer to Fox up B, like Joker, Arsene counter, Sephiroth counter, stuff like that, if you have any counter or anything like that, if you have an easy answer for edgeguarding up B, like Fox is like
Sephiroth has like 5 answers to edgeguard Fox.
Right, you can like you can counter it, like pick whatever you want.
He can choose to kill you now or later. Like yeah. It's ridiculous.
But yeah, I think Fox is in a lot better spot. That buff was very like should have came in a long time ago. I like obviously I would want more Fox buffs because I want to play the character more, but I think like where he's at now is like fine. Like I think he's either top of high or he's like bottom of top.
You guys don't want me to talk about Wario. We're not talking about Wario.
Gavin thinks Wario's trash.
We're not talking about Wario.
Wario's like interesting.
That character is the only character banned from this topic.
It's just done, dude.
What about Trainer?
Also
That's
banned.
An interesting one.
Also banned.
I forgot. I mean, we can talk about. I saw a lot of people asking about Young Link. I saw a lot of questions for Young Link.
Oh yeah, Young Link did get buffed as well, right?
Like 10 times.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I think he kind of falls under the Inkling category of like, dang it, we're humans, we're not robots. Like, that's why the character's not good. You know what I mean? Because he has like so many like frame 1 combo links and shit like that. Like, I think Young Link is like, it's like okay, this is like the things that
I think it's actually like the thing for Young Link is it's like we were talking about earlier. It comes down to general stats all over again.
Yeah.
Like if he had like some sort of extra bonus to like air mobility or something, like it would really help with his recovery. It would really help with just neutral and disadvantage, because like he gets all these like crazy things on you, but he'll die to that stray sword move in the air and just can't recover.
That stray ultimate move that dude's mashing because there's auto L cancel enabled in this game, right?
Yeah,
like,
so
like the random shit.
I do think Young Link is heavily unoptimized.
But who wants to, like, what top player is going to put themselves through that stress, right? Like, you got to realize, like, a lot of these top players, they're human beings too, right? Like, they, like, when when you're a top level competitor and you're thinking like, okay, what character am I gonna commit my career to? Like these people aren't just like playing to like, oh man, like I need an ego boost. Like let me go to this local and win. Like that, it's like their actual careers, right? So it's like when we're talking like PGR level players, so it's like they gotta break down like execution wise, like oh shit, like what happens when I'm nervous, right? What happens like what character just is going to feel the most natural to me, right? Where it's like no matter what situation I'm in, I'll be able to like clutch it out as best as possible. I'll be able to play to my best as my ability. And like Young Link is where I feel like a lot of that crossover happens, where it's just like, I don't really know though. And the thing is, like, this is a horrible combo, by the way, being extremely light and having a trash recovery. Two things you do not want to go pair in pair, because one, even if you don't just die from being light, you're light. So you probably got hit farther off stage.
Yeah, it's how far off stage you are with Young Link's recovery. Yeah. If you get sent, if you're at that awkward middle percent where you get sent far enough to where you can't tether and you have to up B, you might as well have died to that hit in the first place. So like that's difficult. I think regardless of like how unoptimized I think he is, I still think all those top tiers win the matchup regardless. He might be doing a bunch of crazy tech and crazy stuff, but it's like we were talked about with Steve versus Wolf and Palutena. Wolf and Palutena are going to do their bread and butter things, and it's going to beat the character. It doesn't matter what you're doing. They don't care.
Yep.
And I think that applies to Young Link too. But I think he's really cool. I know some people think he's just obnoxious and does a bunch of projectiles. I think he can be really cool, but
he has the option of doing both. He's like, I think what's frustrating.
He has the freedom of being an annoying little kid, or he can style on.
He can like rush you down with his like. He has a frame 4 nair. This dude's nair is just as fast as Fox.
He will beat like your ass. He will definitely beat your ass.
He just straight up whoop your ass. It's pretty crazy. And I think that's another like. I feel like a lot of people get frustrated by like the zoner archetype will frustrate most players, but I think what is frustrating even more is like it's that zoner with the frame 4 option, right? Like why am I rushing Young Link down because I'm getting pelted with arrows and then he fox nairs me? What is life? What's happening to me, right? Like I think that's what like ups the frustration more, because even like it's like some of those other top tier zoners we were talking about. I don't think Young Link is necessarily on these characters level, but like, you know, Rob, Pac-Man, like these characters you don't necessarily feel like you can outbox them, which is like concerning, right? Like
yeah, I'm not a fan of fighting Pac-Man for sure. I like fighting Rob with most characters. With most characters, with the characters I'm playing at the moment, Rob is great. Especially when I was playing Wario versus Rob.
Doesn't Sephiroth smoke Pac-Man?
Oh, I would assume so. That's the plan at the moment.
That's the plan.
I'm not going Diddy versus that.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. And like worst case, you always have Wolf. Like there's like you can go with Sephiroth, find out, and then like you always have like the backup plan, right?
Yeah.
Like and like the thing is to keep your Wolf season doesn't take a lot of effort. Like you could bring it out at any point, and then like that's the powerful thing about Wolf and Palu, right? Like it's crazy, and this is like. I'm obviously not a top level player, but like I'm grinding Fox and I want Fox to be my main right now, right? But like I'm getting fundamentally better at the game the more I play the game, right? You know, that's just natural. And then like I won't play Wolf for like 2 months, right? I'm playing Fox and then I'll play Wolf and I'm like, dang, why is my Wolf better than my Fox? I didn't play this guy for 2 months. And it's just it's there, you know what I mean? And like that's the kind of characters Wolf and Palu are. If you've put like X amount of time into them and you're just like
as long as you're playing the game.
Exactly.
You're still playing Wolf or Palu or whatever it may be. You know, technically, like
yeah.
If you don't play Smash in general, maybe your Wolf will be rusty or whatever fundamental basic character may be, right? But yeah, I could never play Wolf again, and it's okay.
And just whip that shit out in a tournament, like, and it'll still slap. You know what I mean? Like,
but if I try to play like I don't know, like Young Link. I'm a SD or something.
Or even Diddy. I think Diddy falls under that guy. If you don't play Diddy for like a month or two, like that's going to be concerning because there's a lot of tight execution things. That's just like if you're just not like always going through those motions, right? Like every so often, it's going to kind of fall apart.
I think
they're just so hard.
that's why I started doing like the practice I do at the moment when I stream is just like I rotate between Diddy and Sephiroth, regardless of the matchup or what I may think. Like just getting the general playtime in. When Sephiroth first came out, it was all Sephiroth, and then like one day I was just like, maybe I should keep Diddy around because Diddy's like, he's still my favorite to play. He's my favorite overall. And when I first went back to him, like it had only been a week or so, but there's just so much tech that I would just forget to do some of it. It's not that I was rusty. It's like I'm just forgetting about all the stuff I was practicing or learning. Like, so I gotta keep playing him to keep it fresh in my head, I think. That's what it is for me.
And even Pink mentioned earlier, it's so hard to solo main in this game, even in general as a competitor.
Yeah.
You know,
I would never
like,
want to do that. I don't.
Right, exactly.
I don't remember the last time I did that. Period.
I feel like
not
Diddy
even
is also
ultimate.
like Diddy's like your gem in a sense, where it's just like they've stripped so much tech from ultimate. So if you're a player, yeah, and I'm not even just trying to be like an asshole or anything, but like that, it's just factual, right? Like you can tell there was Dacus, right? And then they took it out. Like, and like just from Smash 4 from the 3DS going into the Wii U. Like Nintendo has made it very clear that they don't like tech. Don't know why. Maybe they just I don't know exactly why. Maybe it's like a pride thing where it's like we didn't intend it to be like that and we feel like it's bad game design if there's like a mistake, or you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it's like a pride thing or what, but like they definitely don't like unintended tech in the game, and that it's like throughout every Smash game more, and like as we go into the future or whatever, like they just strip it away. And I feel like Diddy is like for Gavin, at least I know Tweek is someone that likes tech, like that's one of the things that makes the game like super fun and like interactive for him. So it's like Diddy's like that gem where it's just like, wow, this character has so many hard execution barriers and stuff. It might not necessarily be tech, but since the execution is on the same level as like tech, right? It's like that's what the character feels like that to him. So, and it's like, even very similarly like Void with Sheik. Like Void had a Smash 4 Cloud, right? And I would tell him all the time as a coach, I'm like, you are getting fucked by the buzz. These players have brought out Pocket Cloud versus the buzz. If you want to beat the buzz, you play Cloud, and you can get through this wall of a player like you've never beaten him. He's like his play style, the way his character, like everything just counters your living existence. Like it's just he is like the perfect counter versus you. He's like the hardest player for you to take down. Just do it with Cloud, and Cloud to him didn't really have like that depth he wanted. Like the things that were hard to Cloud, he didn't really like. It didn't really click with him, right? And even so, he was very stubborn with that. He eventually still got like his one set win on the buzz, which was like super hype, right? And he did it with Sheik. Even against Como, Void has struggled a lot versus Como because he would just camp him out with Sonic. And the on paper thing to do, and like as a coach, I always tell the player the on paper thing to do, but that doesn't necessarily make it the right thing to do. And that's even happened with me and Tweek, where it's like on paper you should do this, but like if you feel like you should do something else, or if something else is more comfortable, you do that instead. But I'm just here to tell you like my viewpoint, my on paper opinion, right? And like Pink has coached many players as well. It's like a coach is never there to just tell you like exactly what to do. He's there to give you a perspective, and then you can break that down and like take it as is and try to abuse that perspective and give yourself more insight, right?
I remember.
Yeah, I told Void like camp versus Como, time him out, and he was just like, I was like, you either edge guard Sonic, which is hard as fuck, really hard to do, or you time him out. Which are you gonna do? And he was like, I'm not timing Como out. I refuse to time Como out. I was just like, what? You have needles, just time him out. And he was just like, nope, I'm edge guarding him. I am going to edge guard him. And you know what I mean? Like it's just that's how it is. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Right?
I can relate to it. I feel like regardless of how much stubbornness I still have left in me today, I used to be a lot worse. I used to be extremely stubborn. I would do things my way. Not even a slight change of how, like, I know Mark is shaking his head because Marcus used to attempt to coach me, and like I remember that was a common thing back in the day. People were like, yeah, Tweek isn't coachable, like you can't do it. That's why when Charles like officially became my coach, a lot of people were like, what? So he's like your coach? But like I just used to be so stubborn. I wouldn't I would only do things my way, no matter what. I can't think of any specifics. It's been a while, but like, I was definitely just young. I was a
the
kid.
best way to coach you before was literally just to keep you in good spirits, because
Yeah.
generally you knew what to do and like how to win.
Yeah.
But if you ever got in like a bad mental or emotional state, I was like, all right, next tournament. Especially if you lost, like the moment you lost, I was like, all right, well, let's just start looking at next tournament, because he can't recover from losing.
Yeah. It's been hard to like go from like something as drastic as that to like trying to like, you know, minimize it and just be not ridiculous about losing.
Right. Yeah, like
Yeah.
a consistency thing, right? Like trying to make winners bracket Tweek just as strong as losers bracket Tweek, or vice
Yes.
versa, right? Like just having that consistency, like no matter what side of the bracket you're on, you are still playing to the best of your ability. And like honestly, it's hard. Like a lot of people,
Because you go into the tournament with a
you're-
game plan, and when it doesn't work, it's like, well, shit.
right. Well,
Regardless
it's
if
a
you're
whole
still
different
in or
story
not.
when it's your career. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's like situations where it's like, okay, you know, I'm doing this and I want to make this my career, and you're trying to do it. Obviously, it sucks when like you like fail in those moments climbing up to it, but it's a whole nother story when it's like when it is your career and there are these expectations, and when they're not met, like when your expectations not met when you're trying to climb up to them, it's just like, oh well, shit, well that sucks, but like I'm still doing what I'm doing now, right? But then there's your career, and it's just like, oh well, fuck, like if this keeps happening, this might not be my career anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like there's always that like thought in the back of your head, and like it's a whole nother story when it's your job.
Yeah, that like it's just hard to like go from like not like just being in high school to like having Smash as your career and like having these expectations and like treating like winning tournaments as life or death, and like it's hard to accept failure as part of the process and like not a bad thing, you know, because
Right.
you take it as a personal jab to your own like being. So like it's all a process that you just gotta try your best to get through, because you know, winning and losing, as different as they seem at first, like it's all one coin, you know what I mean? Like it's just competing, man. It's all part of the process to become the best player and person you can be. Like, but you know, I can't just like not give myself credit. I was definitely a kid. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it is what it is. Like, it's hard not to like, you know, get upset when you lose and like think your life is over, or like, you know, like when you're in the middle of this tournament set, to like get angry and like hate your opponent or hate your opponent's character, or like, you know, but you definitely got to see it as like, you know, you're both competitors, like you're working towards a similar thing, you're both pushing each other at the same time. Like you got to see the beauty in it rather than like just like making, because if you with that toxic of a mindset, like you'll realize that like winning, what does winning even do for you after it happens? Like you're not even gonna get the happiness you thought you were going to get from it, because like if you're not, you know, like focused on your well-being and like yourself, then you're gonna realize that like winning isn't the solution to your problems.
Yep. Just gonna circle back and like
Yeah.
it's just putting effort into things that like matter, I think, is like really important. It's definitely hard to do in the moment, you know, like
Yeah.
you're so like you're putting you like when you're competing at the top level, you have to put everything and even more into like trying to win, you know what I mean? And like after the process of doing that, it's hard not to be like angry or extremely sad after you don't get what you want, essentially, right? Like raging or even like crying after certain sets. Like it's like a more common thing than not, like when you're competing at like these top levels. So
Yeah.
but then like the main thing is just like after being able to like put your mental effort into stuff that will help you grow as a player, rather than like, because like hating a character or like thinking someone's carried, like what does that like break down, what does that actually do for you?
Yeah.
That the only thing it does for you is like, oh well, like I'm better than him. Like it might help your ego, but does your ego actually help you be better at the game? Like probably not. And like your ego is covered. Like if you like do that and get your ego higher, then you're not even going to realize like why you actually lost the game. It's actually hurting you. You know what I mean? It's like, oh well, I just didn't play patient versus that tool, or like that situation I didn't do. Like you're literally just like you're taking steps backwards. And like there's a lot of players with that mentality that got to where they are at that top level because they just kept ramming their head into it so often. Like eventually you'll get there, right? But there's people that can get there faster with the right mental and all that. So it's really important. And like it's a lot of it you have to just experience it, right? Like even if you read a book on it on like how to do that, you have to go through the motions and you have to experience it to kind of like be able to get into that mindset.
All right. I don't know if you guys are getting bored or tired of this. We've been doing it longer than we expected to. The plan was an hour or two, but all of this will be on YouTube. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We answered some of your questions. If you guys have any more, we can talk about it maybe next time or like for a few extra minutes. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed being on the show, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. We're gonna try to do this every Saturday around like what 3 or 4 p.m. Eastern. Are you guys cool with that?
Yeah.
All right.
And you know what's cool? This like this feels very reminiscent to like us kind of just hanging out at a tournament talking about Smash.
Yeah.
Like what you guys just watched. Literally, like this is just what we do. Or
that's
talk
why
about,
I wanted
like,
to do it in the
tournaments.
first place, because I had a feeling like with the right people, like it doesn't matter whether the camera's on or not. Like there's still like I'm sure we rambled a bit and all that, but like there's a lot of stuff we can talk about next time too. So like there's a bunch of stuff we can talk about. Melee Wolf next time. There's a bunch of crazy stuff going on with Smash. So
how Melee has a better like online experience. Do you want a better Smash Wi-Fi experience? Huh. Well, Forehead, why don't you just play the Smash game that's 20 years old? Like, what?
Yeah, of course.
What is happening? Oh, Nintendo Wi-Fi, man. You love to see it. Yeah, I mean, Yuzu's another topic, right? That,
do
like,
people
have kind of
think
been
you look
getting on.
bored, Marcus?
Oh nah. They said I want to take a nap. You know.
The young nap, dude.
It's just how I be. My be.
Sort of feels like I'm at a tournament again. That's cool.
Do you think maybe like they should send like I don't know, you or me or Charles like questions?
Yeah,
like,
if you guys want to
something.
Yeah. You guys should plug your social medias and stuff.
Yeah, so we have like ideas.
We can have stuff for next time ready.
Want to talk about next time.
We're gonna work on an overlay for it too, rather than just just the cameras. But today was the first time, so
yeah,
I'm probably still gonna practice today and like stream. I don't know if I'm gonna do it right now. I think I have a couple things I need to do, but I still want to get my practice in today.
Feel that.
The grind, baby.
Yeah.
You try.
Like even when you posted.
Oh, you trying to play later?
Oh shit, yo.
Let's go.
No, but for real.
No, yeah. I was being serious too.
All right.
Yeah, even when you post it like on social media, when you post the YouTube video, you can be like, oh, put in the you can reply to this tweet with more topics or ideas, stuff like that. Or like the YouTube comments, obviously. So
get some interactions on your video. Post in the comments below what you like.
Oh yeah. Hit the bell, guys.
Farm those interactions.
I can see that only 4.6% of you are subscribed to the channel. I don't want to have to get to that point, but
dang, so much people have asked if this is going to be on Spotify. That's crazy to me.
We're not that cool.
Well, maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe
Maybe if there's enough subs.
Oh yeah, if we get 1 million subscribers right now, it'll be on Spotify immediately, along with the next 10 episodes that we haven't done.
All right, well, I'm gonna go on and get out of here.
One final question that I saw way earlier. What is a dream DLC character for all three of us? Or do you already have it? There's no way. There's more. There's always more. Marcus first.
I'm so excited because I talk about this multiple times a week. Okay. Have y'all ever played Conker's Bad Fur Day?
Oh yes. Let's fucking go.
There's no way Conker's getting in, dude.
Bro.
What is he gonna,
drinks
fucking piss
alcohol.
on people?
They said
Like-
dream DLC, bro. Like, let me dream.
Yeah,
Like,
come on.
it's Conquer. I need my man.
People
to
ask for
come
fucking
through.
Goku. Let him dream.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let me have my fun. No, I really do want it to be Conquer, but I don't think it's ever gonna happen. But that's my dream DLC character.
Charles.
God, there's so many. Okay,
Ooh.
if I had to pick one, if I had to, like, here's like the weird thing, right? Like, I think Master Chief would be like my first pick, but I don't want another zoner in the game. So it's like it's like a conflicting thing of like, do I want to play against another fucking zoner? Like, Jesus,
He might have an energy sword. He might just cut you once.
dude, no, he's gonna camp. That's like he's guns and grenades, dude. Like it's gonna be another Snake or some shit.
I like
So
Snake.
like, I do want a Sun and Moon, not a Sun and Moon. I want a Sword and Shield Pokemon. Like it would be really cool
if
we got,
that
like,
doesn't
another
happen, I'd be
trainer.
surprised.
And a big reason why I want that is because of the Sword and Shield soundtrack too. Like I think it would be super cool to have.
Yo,
Sword and
that's
Shield
actually
soundtrack.
true. Yeah.
That's a big factor going into it. But it okay. So with everything considered, those are like what I want. But I think my dream character is if Tifa got in the game, that'd be so tight. I want like I want Tifa in the game because like. Well, one, she's just a Final Fantasy Final Fantasy 7 character, and then like she would just be tight. She would like think about like this character would literally just go in and combo. Like Tifa was my favorite character to play in the F.
Sounds like Ryu.
Dude, but she's like quick and nimble though. You know, like, she would be like a fox, dude. It'd be tight.
Okay. I was about to say.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like get
Mario.
in there, do your
Yeah.
combos, like so that's Tifa would probably be my dream character.
The thing is, I thought it was gonna be Tifa over Sephiroth. So like, part of me was like okay, that's cool, but like I want Sephiroth. But then it was Sephiroth, and I was like, what the fuck? Like I just
Got
expected
what I
Tifa.
wanted. This is crazy.
People were talking, yeah, people were talking about Tifa a lot. So, but I actually think they're gonna put like a Breath of the Wild 2 character in. I think they're gonna put young Impa in, and I kind of want it too. I'm kind of down for it. But for a dream character, also they never put Zelda characters in or like give them the right movesets or anything. Like we need like something. We need justice for Zelda characters.
Skull Kid would be hype.
Well, he's dead. That was like my dream
Hey, man,
character.
K-Rool got a Wii costume or a Me costume or whatever the hell.
He's an
That's
assist
where I
trophy.
think K-Rool.
But my dream character right now, like I already have my dream character, but the other one is Dante.
Fortnite. Oh no, I was wrong.
Yo, hold on, Jones.
All right.
Hold on, that Jones.
Thanks for watching, guys. But yeah, Dante would be what I want. What I think is gonna happen / what I kind of want to is Impa.
Virgil would be hype too.
Why would
would
they
be.
do Virgil before Dante? Who
I mean,
knows at
they
this
probably
point?
wouldn't, but Virgil would be hype.
I don't think Dante's gonna happen after Sephiroth happened though. So I kind of treated them as like one or the other. So we'll see.
Dante comes into the game and he has Joker down gun. It's over.
No.
DLC Joker down gun.
All right, maybe I don't want Dante. I'll stick with what we have. We don't need any more characters.
We don't need any more down guns in the game.
All right, we're gonna call it here, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching the stream. This will be on YouTube after. Yeah, we'll see you guys next Saturday. We'll try to be more prepared, but yeah. Hope you guys have a good one. Peace out.